Today, we talk about the undefeated Dagestani king and current UFC lightweight champion, Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. What people love about Khabib is his no-nonsense attitude, lack of rhetoric, and professionalism. He stays true to himself, his religion, and his heritage. But it is the Eagle's wrestling, relentless pursuit of takedowns, smothering top control, and brutal ground and pound that have made him a staple in the UFC and in MMA. Khabib is not only a famous MMA champion, but he's also one of the most dominant fighters in UFC history. In this video, we wanted to recap Khabib's most dominant performances to date. Before we get into it, please remember to smash that like button if you like the video, as well as subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know whenever we have a new video coming out. Number 1. Conor McGregor, UFC 229. First and foremost, we start with one of Khabib's most infamous challenges in former 2 division champion Conor McGregor. Khabib and Conor met in the Octagon in October of 2018. Conor was coming off a 2-year layoff from MMA, where he challenged Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match in August 2017. Prior to that, Conor was the undisputed UFC featherweight and lightweight champion. However, Conor was stripped of both belts earlier that year due to inactivity. Khabib won the vacant belt, and Conor came back to challenge for the championship belt he never lost. Like many of Conor's fights before, there was no shortage of trash talk leading into the contest. Conor insulted Khabib's heritage, religion, and family. Khabib promised to put a beating on Conor, and that is exactly what he did. Not to mention the bus attack in Brooklyn, NYC that happened a few months earlier. The fight commenced and Khabib wasted no time. He shot for a takedown early in the first round and got Conor on the ground. Nurmagomedov would do this repeatedly throughout the first 2 rounds, smothering McGregor and landing a nasty barrage of strikes from the top position. Khabib even dropped Conor and hurt him badly while they were trading strikes on the feet of the second round. Khabib's pressure and attack was ruthless. He did not give Conor a chance to breathe until the 3rd round. This way, the only notable round for Conor because Khabib did not put a large effort into taking Conor down, and Khabib used this round to conserve his energy for the next 2 rounds. In the 4th round, Khabib was determined to finish McGregor. He took Conor down again, took his back and submitted him via neck crank, thus putting a cap on an almost flawless performance and an end to the trash talk of McGregor. Number 2. Dustin Poirier, UFC 242. Almost a year after the fight with Conor, Khabib moved on to fight the next number 1 contender and interim lightweight champion, Dustin Poirier. Dustin was coming off an unanimous decision win against the UFC featherweight champion Max Holloway. Dustin was also unbeaten in 10 of his last 11 fights that included wins over former champions in Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez, and Anthony Pettis. In his run to a title shot, Dustin had become one of the most accomplished lightweights in history of the UFC, hence adding significance to this fight for Khabib. The fight went on to take place in Abu Dhabi, and Khabib put on a performance as dominant as in his fight with Conor. The Eagle swarmed and took down Dustin from the opening bell. Dustin would repeatedly get dragged to the ground and beat up for the majority of the fight. Dustin tried to threaten with submissions from his back and even hurt Khabib badly with a punch on his feet. But Khabib kept pushing forward and using his wrestling to wear down Dustin. By the 3rd round, Dustin had no answer for Khabib's attack and was submitted by rear naked choke. Number 3. Edson Barboza, UFC 217. Now we jump to a little earlier Khabib's career. Back in December of 2017, Khabib fought a very lethal striker in Edson Barboza. Khabib had been away from the Octagon for over a year, and he was looking to reinsert himself back into the lightweight title picture. Edson Barboza was in the midst of a 3-fight win streak, defeating former champion Anthony Pettis and Gilbert Melendez. Edson was coming off a KO victory over Beneil Dariush. This matchup was of high intrigue to many because Edson's striking could give Khabib problems. Needless to say, they were wrong. From the opening bell, Khabib put enormous pressure on Barboza with his wrestling. taking Edson down and ruthlessly landing heavy shots from top position. Barboza looked almost defenseless, and many argue the fight could have been stopped after the first round. This is exactly how the rest of the fight looked en route to the unanimous decision victory for Khabib in what might have been the most dominant performance of his career. Number 4. Michael Johnson, UFC 205. In November of 2016, Khabib was in the midst of a comeback. He was one fight removed from a 2-year layoff due to injuries. He had already come back earlier that year and rebounded with a TKO over Daryl Horcher. Michael Johnson was 8 weeks removed from an upset KO win over Dustin Poirier, who we talked about earlier. He was looking to do the same thing to Khabib. Out of everyone on this list, it could be argued that Michael had the most success against Khabib. Michael was able to catch Khabib with hard punches in the beginning of the first round and had Khabib on wobbly legs. Many thought this could be it for the Dagestani, but Khabib weathered the storm and was able to use his wrestling to bring this fight to the ground. In the first round, Khabib was clearly still shaken up and not landing his takedowns as easily as he usually does. However, this changed in the second round as Khabib was able to get his wits back about him. He pressured Michael and was able to easily get him to the ground and beat him up badly. He repeatedly ate big blows from Khabib for 5 minutes. Johnson had taken so much damage in the second round that the referee warned Michael's corner that he would stop the fight if Michael continued to take that type of damage. Luckily for Michael, Khabib chose to go for a Kimura and submit Michael in the third round instead of beating up on him more, mercifully putting an end to Johnson's beating and adding another dominant performance to Khabib's resume. Number 5. Rafael dos Anjos, UFC on Fox 11. This is one of Khabib's most dominant performances that is not talked about enough. Khabib and the future UFC lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos met on the preliminary card of the UFC on Fox show in April 2014. Rafael was coming off an impressive 5-fight win streak that included victories over Donald Cowboy Cerrone and Evan Dunham. Dos Anjos believed he could neutralize Khabib's wrestling by using his striking, jiu-jitsu and submission game off his back. Unfortunately, that did not work out too well for Rafael. The Eagle used his elite wrestling and powerful top control to neutralize submission attempts of Rafael. Khabib's attack was relentless. Every time Dos Anjos got up, he was dragged back down to the ground. Nurmagomedov cruised to a unanimous decision victory and put on another dominant performance. Conclusion. Okay guys, what do you think of this list? Are there any dominant performances from Khabib that you think I left off the list? Who do you think can beat Khabib? Let me know in the comments. Please remember to smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. It helps me out a ton. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell to get informed every time we drop a new video. I appreciate you guys watching until the end, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.